Hello kids, how are you doing today? I'm doing fine. I believe you're doing fine. You, your mommy, your daddy, and your siblings, I believe you're all doing well and staying safe. I'm also doing well here, thanks be to God. Now today we want to do something different, a little different from what we did yesterday. Remember yesterday we talked about dividing numbers using the multiplication table instead of counting. Using the multiplication table to see the essence of knowing having knowledge of your multiplication table, and we specifically looked at dividing numbers using the multiplication table of 4, dividing numbers by 4 using the multiplication table of 4. Now today we want to look at dividing by 4 higher 2-digit numbers. We want to look at dividing by 4, that is dividing higher 2-digit numbers like 27, like 98, like 64, those numbers that consist of 2 digits. We want to look at how we can divide them by 4 using this method that we're about to teach you. You know, higher digits, all these higher digits like 94, like 67 might not be in the multiplication table that you are familiar with, because the multiplication table gets to 12. So it might be a big number that you need to have a knowledge of a particular method to be able to divide it by 4 with. So that's what we want to look at today, division of higher 2-digit numbers by 4. In a case where multiplication table will not be able to work. So sit back, relax, and after this video we will commence the lesson. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about division. In math, division means splitting into equal parts or groups. You probably use division a lot in your day-to-day life, even if you don't realize it. Let's imagine there are 12 cookies, and 4 people want to share them. How many cookies should each person get if the cookies are shared equally? To get the answer, you must divide the cookies 4 ways. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Each person should get 3 cookies. There are 3 different ways to write division problems that you might see in your math work. Don't get confused. All of these ways mean the same thing. The 3 numbers in a division problem each have a special name. The number being divided is called the dividend. The number that the dividend is divided by is called the divisor. And the result of the division is called the quotient. Division is the opposite of multiplication. If you know a multiplication fact, you can figure out some division facts. Let's look at some examples. First, let's look at 15 divided by 3. 15 divided into 3 equal parts is 5. 3 times 5 equals 15, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. You can also divide 15 by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. You can see that these 3 numbers will give us 4 related facts. If you can remember one of these facts, it's easy to figure out the answer to the others. Next, let's take 32 divided by 4. If we divide 32 into 4 equal parts, how many are in each group? 8. 32 divided by 4 equals 8. We can double check this and see if it makes sense by taking 8 times 4. 8 times 4 equals 32, so we know that 8 is the right answer to the question 32 divided by 4. How else could we divide 32? Well, because 32 divided by 4 equals 8, we know that we could divide 32 by 8. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Remember our related facts? We could also divide 32 into 2 equal groups of 16, or into 16 groups of 2, and those facts are related as well. Let's look at one more problem. 6 divided by 3. If we divide 6 things into 3 equal groups, each group will only have 2 things in it. 6 divided by 3 is 2. We can check that by looking at the related multiplication facts. 3 times what equals 6? 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. We can divide 6 by 2 as well. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Now what happens if you divide something by 1? Let's try 6 divided by 1. If you have 6 things and divided them into one group, how many are in that group? 6. Any number divided by 1 is the same number you started with. What if we divide a number by itself, like 6 divided by 6? If you divide 6 things into 6 equal groups, how many things are in each group? 1. Anything divided by itself equals 1. Of course, you can check this too by looking at the related facts. I hope this helped you understand how division works. Goodbye till next time.
Yes, welcome back kids from the internet video. I hope you were able to learn 1 or 2 things from the video. So that is wonderful, that is good. Now going into our topic properly today, remember we said what we want to talk about today majorly is the division of higher 2-digit numbers by 4. And I said higher 2-digit numbers, you know them, all those numbers between from 10 to 99. They are all higher, they are all 2-digit numbers. But when we're talking about higher 2-digit numbers, maybe numbers that exceed the answer to multiplication in the table of 4. In the table of 4, it could be from 40 upwards that you feel maybe maybe it's bigger than my multiplication table knowledge or something, and you really quickly need to quickly divide this figure or this number by 4. So you can use this method. You remember yesterday we learned of the method of the multiplication table, but when it gets to a value that is beyond the knowledge in the multiplication table, you can actually use this method. It's a fast and quick method, a little bit of counting but very fast, unlike the counting you are used to. So let's quickly go into a division of higher 2-digit numbers by 4. We don't need to state our objective. That is the objective, dividing or the division of higher 2-digit numbers by 4. Now let's go into it. For big numbers, like we said before, for big numbers that are made up of 2 digits, like we said, like maybe 73, like 64, like 51, like 25, like 98, like 82, they are all 2-digit numbers. But for big ones among them, maybe like the 80s, the 70s, the 90s, depending on how you see it. Now for big numbers that are made up of 2 digits, you can divide them in the following way we are about to tell you. We are about to instruct you in. Now, the first thing when you want to do this, to divide a 2-digit by 4 or any other number, but now we are specifically talking about 4, which is the same way if you want to divide by 5 or 6 when you have the knowledge of it, or even the same way you can also divide by 2 and 3, which you are already probably familiar with. Divide a higher 2-digit number by 4, and like the way or any other number, but now we're specifically talking about 4. To divide a higher 2-digit number by 4, follow this pattern. Follow this way that we're about to instruct you. Now, divide the tens first. Divide the tens first. You know tens and units. The number that is at the tens place value, divide it first before you divide the one on the unit. But you don't just divide it alone. You count. You divide the figure at that tens place value. Then you write your answer under it, under that place value of the tens. Then the next thing you do is you divide the units next. The next thing is to divide the units. The figure at the unit place value, you divide it. So, and when you also divide that, you write your answer under it. Now, let me just remind you that you use your previous knowledge gained from the division of 2s and by 3s of 3s to solve this. You know, you already have some prior knowledge of division. So we're just in the level of 4. So use your previous knowledge to also help in doing this. So let's look at the next page and solve this example. Now the example says 48 divided by 4. 48 divided by 4 is as simple as that. 48 divided by 4. Now the first thing you do, like we have done here, is to write it out. Then the next thing is for you to now, like we said, divide the number at the 10th, or the digit at the 10th position of this figure that you're about to divide first. Divide the digit at the 10th position first. And in 48, the digit at the 10th position is the 4. So look at how we're going to divide it, and make sure you do your division separately and write your answer under each division. So let's do it now. Okay, or before then, let's just make a line and do the division of the 4 here and do the division of the 8 here. So now let's count 4. Let's count 4 for us to be able to divide it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's divide this 4 by the 4 we are using to divide the whole number. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we group it together. And how many times is that? That is just one group. Now let's divide the 8 now. Let's count 8 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's divide by 4. Let's divide this 8 at the unit position. Now we've divided the 4 at the 10th position, which is 4 in 4, and that is 1. We only find it once. Now I want to divide the 8 by the 4, which is the 8 at the unit position by the 4 we are still using to divide the whole number. That's, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, the first group, and we can write it there. Remember, this group of the 4 divided by 4 is just 1. For this one, the first group is 1. Then let's count another for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 8 divided by 4, we have it in 2 forms. So that means we have the answer here of 1. Then how many groups do we see here dividing 4 dividing it? That is 2. So what does that mean? 1 and 2. What does that mean? Let us write it out. It means therefore that 48 divided by 4 is equal to what? 1, the one we wrote here, and 2. And what does that mean? It means 12. That is the final answer. 12. That is our final answer. Do you see how simple it is? So don't worry, you'll be given the assessment to solve. This is how simple and how you can introduce, or you can get used to, dividing by higher digit numbers. So 48 divided by 4 is 12, because first of all we divided by the 4 by 4, and that is one group. Then we divided the 8 by 4, and that is in 2. So we write 1 under the 1 of the unit, and we write 2 under the 1 of the tens. And now we concluded that 48 divided by 4 is 12. So this is another way to solve this when you are dealing with higher figures, higher 2-digit numbers that probably you don't have the knowledge of it in the multiplication table. So we'll give you higher numbers in your assessment, so ensure you do it and do it properly. Please ensure you also follow my example and the solution in my example to ensure and to guarantee the right answer. So I'm glad to have you guys today, and I'm also glad to be able to pass this on to you guys, and I believe there will be a lot of favorable responses from this. So thank you very much. I wait your assessment question and ensure you do them early so that we can assess and give you your score early. Thank you very much and have a nice time. Bye.